name is Levi Sim, and in this video I'd like to talk to you about some of the accessories I keep on my camera almost all the time. People ask me questions about these, so I thought you might like to know too. The first thing is my lens hood. I like to leave the hood on my lens almost all the time when I'm out shooting. The reason is that it protects my sensor from having, it protects light from shining across the lens and causing ghosts inside, causing reflections bouncing back and forth inside the lens, either from the sun directly coming across, or maybe even from the sun reflecting off that truck over there and shining across my lens in my picture. And so it helps limit those ghosts and flares that we may get. So I recommend keeping that on. I also like it because it protects my lens from bumping into stuff. If I'm walking around, or if I've got my strap slung over my shoulder or something, it just gives me a little bit of a bumper area so that I don't whack it into things. The next thing I'd like to tell you about is my tape that I've got covering the hood ornament on my camera here. It's not that I'm ashamed to have a Nikon, quite the contrary, but it's very useful. When I'm traveling around the world, I keep the tape on the bright Nikon thing right there. I also cover anything that looks shiny or gold with this black gaffer's tape. And gaffer's tape is what photographers wish duct tape was, but it's the photographer's duct tape. It's sticky, but it doesn't leave any residue. So I can use this tape over and over again, put it back on and off, and it doesn't leave a sticky residue on my gear. It comes off cleanly and goes back on nicely. So when I'm traveling around the world, I cover up anything shiny or expensive looking on my gear with a little bit of black gaffer's tape. It's also just really handy for if you need to pin some clothes back on somebody or tape something together. It's always ready to go and easy to use. So I keep some right there because it also pins down my flash and keeps it from accidentally opening in case I'm, well, just the other day I was shooting a performance at the theater here, a dance performance, and I absolutely did not want any chance of my flash going off, so I just pulled off that tape and striped it right over the top of my flash to keep it closed. Gaffer's tape is really handy, and it's fortunate that it's reusable like that because it's actually pretty expensive too. So, you know, $15 a roll to duct tape's $2 a roll, but don't use duct tape, use gaffer's tape, and you'll be a lot happier and you'll look a lot more like a pro as you do it. The next thing is this big part on the bottom of my camera here. On mine it actually comes off. If I had a Canon 1D or a Nikon D3, then this would be an integrated part of the camera. But on my D700 or on any other camera, it's an external battery grip, and you can add it to your camera it gives you 2 or 3 good things. On every camera you can add it to, it gives you an extra battery at least. Some of them will hold 2 extra batteries. That means longer shooting time without recharging your batteries. If you're out shooting a wedding or something, that can be very nice to not have to worry about changing your batteries at all. The next thing, and the best thing it gives you, is a vertical button right here. So when you shoot in portrait orientation, you don't have to hold your hand over the camera sideways like this, or underneath like this. You can just hold it normally, and that gives you a more steady platform for making pictures. So that's my favorite thing about the vertical grip, is that button right there. Sometimes I use the vertical grip without a battery in it at all, just to get that button. The battery adds weight. So, but in certain camera bodies, I know in a D300 or a D700 for Nikons, when you add this battery grip with the bigger battery, the D3 battery, it's a nice big lithium battery. When you add that onto these, it increases the shutter count. And so I think I get 8 frames a second with that battery grip on. Otherwise, I think I'm hovering around 5 on my D700 with the regular batteries. So that's one of my favorite things. I leave it on here almost all the time, and I'm about to get one for my D7000 as well, because it's just so useful. The third thing is my strap, and I've got a couple of straps that I like to use, but this is the one I've been using lately for a very good reason. The strap that comes with your camera has 2 big problems with it. First, it says Nikon in big yellow letters right around it, and I'm not a walking billboard. I'm happy to tell people I love my Nikon, but I don't want to be a big yellow billboard for Nikon or a big white one with red stripes for Canon. So I don't like that. So I'd rather get a plain black strap of some kind. You know, Low Pro makes them, or Optica. There's all kinds of straps out there on the market. You can get those pink and white flowered ones, whatever you like. But the problem with most of those straps is that they still go around your neck, and they hang here on each side of the camera, and you know, the ones that put your camera right there. And for me, after about 10 minutes, that puts my neck right about here, and then it just gets heavier and heavier through the day, and I can just see my posture getting worse and worse as I wear that. So I don't use that strap at all. Lately, I've just been using a wrist strap that I put through the same strap that the neck strap goes on, and then I can wrap it around my wrist a couple of times, kind of like a racquetball racket, to keep it snug and tight. This just keeps me from dropping the camera and losing it completely, but it allows me just to hold my camera in my hand, which is very nice because it takes the weight off of my neck like that, and it takes the camera off the front of my body, so that as I'm walking down the street, I don't look like a tourist. I don't have this huge camera screaming, I'm going to take a picture of you. It puts it just far enough away that allows me to get closer to some action before I take a picture without being noticed, and I sure like that. So that's my Incognito wrist strap. That's also good for my posture, and so I've been enjoying that one lately. Another one I love to use is a Black Rapid strap, which comes, the Rapid strap from blackrapid.com. Check out blackrapid.com for their strap. It's about $60, but it just goes over your shoulder, and then it's got a connection point in your tripod mount that allows the camera to move up and down the strap without the strap moving at all. And it's quite comfortable. I love wearing it. It also keeps the camera incognito at your hip without being visible everywhere, and it takes the weight and puts it on your shoulder instead of on your neck. And I'll wear two of those, one on each shoulder, when I'm shooting weddings or doing something with two camera bodies, or my lens bag on this side and my camera on this side, and it feels like I'm wearing a backpack, and it's much more comfortable and doesn't fatigue my neck like other straps. However, lately I've also been wearing that less often on one shoulder because it starts to give me a kink at my neck. Also, I made one out of a laptop strap and an eye bolt, or my Manfrotto tripod mount has a little ring on it, and I can just clip my laptop strap onto that, and it lets me slide up and down, and also lets me snap onto my tripod really quickly. So I sure like that variant of the Black Rapid strap, but Black Rapid has a few nicer things about it than the laptop strap. Check that out, and get yourself some gaffer's tape, use your lens hood, and I highly recommend a battery grip as well. You'll like that button on top. Thanks for joining me for this video. Keep an eye on my YouTube page and also my blog for more instructional videos.